Okay, so we came together here today to have just a moment of intimacy and just share some stories. We all have them, you know? So I realized that a lot of the time when people ask you to share a part of your story, they never really give you a piece of them before they do that. They just expect you to share your deepest secrets and your deepest pain, and they have an opinion about it if you don't. So I want to start off with sharing a story, and then after that, we'll see where the conversation goes, because I came prepared to talk about one thing, but you know, sometimes God has another thing to say, so we're going to see which story God wants to talk about today. Yeah, let's just jump into it. I live by my words because they tell a tale. A young girl's journey explained in detail. She was raised in a house of love with a beautiful black queen. With her brothers and sisters, life was but a dream. A strong father that took care of his queen and made sure nothing came in between. The perfect family love that you would see on a screen, yet to her, it was a daily routine. So she could have never foreseen that her life was going to change so drastically. So when the day came that the angel of death knocked on her door, it opened a world that was hidden from her. And it broke her. It hurt. But before she hit the dirt, the little girl visited an expert. And the expert didn't understand her pain. How could she if the little girl couldn't explain that her pain felt like she was being run over by a million trains? She felt like she was going insane. She kept seeing images of him in pain and dying in her brain. So every memory became a bad dream from which she awoke. And with every smile and laughter, her little heart just broke. See, when he died, he left a void. It felt like everything she knew and loved was destroyed. He died. He left her. He abandoned her. And all she could think is, why is this happening to me? Why did God forsaken me? So every night she fell to her knees and she begged him, please, please come back to me. Praying to God, please, God, please help me. Because pain came on wings of fire and took with it all human desire. So through her eyes, her life was under a cloud of rain. School, friendship, among other things, went down the drain, and she didn't want to drown everyone else in her pain, so she tried her best not to complain. And years went on and she got used to the rain, but she was tired of the pain conquering her domain, which meant that on the inside, this little girl had no safe place to obtain. So she took comfort in her dreams. It was the one place she could see him and they could be a team. In her dreams, it was like the sun always shined. At least that's how it seemed. And pain wasn't part of her screams. So at the end of each dream, she couldn't say goodbye. She couldn't let go of her brother, even if she tried. But nevertheless, there was always a painful goodbye. And all these questions starting with why. You were my brother, a very good guy, so why didn't you get to see your life past junior high? Why did you choose to leave me? Why did you have to die? The answer never came, so the little girl would wake up and cry. Until one day, her mother broke the chain. She held her daughter in her arms and helped stop the rain. Her love and prayers rescued this girl from that dark world of pain. And for the first time in years, that little girl felt like with her presence, the world still might have something to gain. You see, when you ask someone who they are, you should listen to what they say. Only if you have the time, because then it's up to you to understand the person in front of you. I hope y'all took the time to understand that I just introduced you to me. You see that story? That story was the first chapter in my life that really scared me. And we all have stories. The way I see it, our stories become chapters, and those chapters, how we compartmentalize those chapters, ends up making us who we are. And I don't know about y'all, but I like drama movies, and I think a lot of people do. We just don't like our story to be the drama. You know what I'm saying? You like to focus on other people's story because it's easier to sit back and judge that story. It's easier to look at someone going through something and have an opinion about that. As for me, I've dealt with judgment all my life. I've dealt with being judged because I wasn't dark enough. I've dealt with being judged because I wasn't light-skinned enough. I've dealt with being judged for my presence and for my absence, which really surprises me because I don't know how that goes. I've been judged for the way I choose to be. I've been judged for the friendships I keep. I've been judged for my tattoos and my piercings more than I can imagine. And the reason why I bring that up is because recently, like yesterday, we had a conversation. We went live, and my tattoos were a big topic. My tattoos tend to be a big topic everywhere. But what people don't know is I got my first tattoo when I was 15. I got my first tattoo when I was 15, which is a year after my brother was murdered by senseless violence. Because people wanted to be his friend, and when they looked in from the outside, they saw a boy that had everything that they wanted, and they just wanted to be his friend. And instead of making the steps to building a friendship, they took it personal that he didn't know that they wanted to be friends. And it cost him his life. So the first tattoo that I got was his picture to remind me that he was always with me. And I needed that. Keep in mind, I was 15. I needed that at the time. And all the tattoos that you see everywhere, which is a lot, they summarize a chapter of my life that was very painful to me. They summarize a learning experience. That's why I'm like a walking Bible, because I'm covered in Bible scriptures. Because in my lowest moments, in my darkest moments, God always found a way to reach out to me. And the message that I got in those moments, I tatted them on my body so I never would forget. And okay, maybe it wasn't the right way to go about it, but like I said, I started when I was 15. The 31-year-old woman wouldn't do that, but the 15-year-old in me needed that. And like I said, I grew up in a house with a beautiful black queen. And she taught me that it's not about my mistakes. It's not about how many times I fall down. It's about how I choose to get back up. And after every hardship that I faced, I got back up. I got back up very proudly. And it might not be the way someone else wanted me to go through the story, but it was the way that God wanted me to go through the story, because God is the one that shaped me. And my mother also taught me that God calls you who you are before you become it. So I didn't know the woman that I was going to turn out to be, but God did. God knew that I had to go through everything that I had to go through, and that he would be there every step of the way with me, and that he would not judge me for anything, because that's his way of teaching me. And my mother also taught me to surround myself with people that make me feel like music. Like, I can't sing, but I love music. I think music it's a love language. It's a language that touches your soul. All the amazing musicians behind me, they can play a note that will touch an emotion in you and bring healing that no word on earth could bring, just by playing some music. So the next piece that I want to share with y'all is called Music, and I hope y'all like it.